Hello?
You're going to die tonight.
Scott, why are you calling me?
It's not Scott.
Okay. Who is it then?
The person who's gonna kill you.
The scary voice thing is a little bit sexy, but you could work on it.
Listen, you little bitch. I'm gonna slice you open and rip your guts out.
Did you just call me a bitch? Okay, I said I would try, but I'm done. This isn't fun.
Because the fun part is over, Madison.
Hello?
Hello, Sidney. Guess who? Did you miss me? I see you found a new town to live in. It reminds me a lot of where we grew up.
Oh, do we know each other?
We sure do. In fact, I was just in Woodsboro last night. Things got a little heated. But I'm here in Pine Grove now.
Yeah, what brings you here?
You, Sidney? You were missed in New York. It's not the same without you. I guess you couldn't be bothered now that you're so busy with a husband and family.
Well, you sure know a lot about me for another asshole hiding behind a fake number and a voice changer.
Oh, I'm not hiding, Sidney. Not this time.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Citizen Frame, the first episode of March 2026. It's March time, and every couple of years in March, this time, I think, or is it February? Late February. March is when we get to it. It's time for Scream. That's right, Scream 7 is out and about, breaking box office records all around, despite the controversies. And I'm not talking about the really bad killer twist ending. I'm talking about what happened before Scream 7 began to shoot. Now, so what happened wasn't Paramount who fired Melissa Barrera. It was Skydance. Skydance owns Scream. And first of all, we're just gonna nip this in the bud now and get it over with, okay? And then I know Trevor's gonna jump in. So I like Melissa Barrera. I like her a lot. She's hot. That's one thing right there. But I'm not just a sexist pig.
You're a pig in other ways.
I like the fact that I looked at her as my new Scream queen. You know, she did the last two Screams. She did Abigail, which we did on the podcast, which she was very good in. And she did this really cool Love Monster. I Love My Monster or something. I can't remember. I'm not doing the title justice. You guys should look it up. It's actually quite cool. And nice little twist at the end. But yeah, I Love My Monster or something like that. But it's quite good. Well, she was let go because of comments she made during what's going on in Gaza and all the shit that's going down. And I don't know what was said and done. I stay away from what actors have to say because, quite frankly, I'm going to say this right now: actors just need to shut the fuck up. They've been given a gift, and they're been given an opportunity that people would die for, and you have no concept of what the real world's like. So just, guys, pull it back and just, because this is what happens. She got fired, pissed off the Jewish community. And we know how the cliche of Hollywood, and you pissed off a good core group of the industry. And she has taken a hit. She has lost some roles because of it. And it sucks because I like her. I think she's going to be huge. And she will make a comeback. But yeah, at the end of the day, they had the right to do what they wanted to do, but she had the right to say what she wanted to say. But unfortunately, this is how it came. This is the outcome.
Yeah,
I'm not pointing the fingers. I'm not pointing the fingers at anybody here. I think it was just she got frustrated, said something. The studio said, "Go fuck yourself. You're done." A famous thing happened with Michael Bay and Megan Fox on Transformers. Megan Fox says, working on the Transformers films, Michael Bay's, he's like Hitler. He's very strict and stern, but when you're being produced by Steven Spielberg, you don't say that. And
something similar with Shia LaBeouf whenever he dissed the Indiana Jones film that he was in, and it did not go down well. I know it's a different context, talking about a film, but also talking about, real world things that are going on. But I saw an interview with Melissa just recently on the lead up to this film, and she actually comes across very well and articulate, unlike so many of these dipshits in Hollywood. But yeah, she was only contracted just basically going by her own words, she was basically just contracted for the 2 films. But I mean, let's be real here. For all intents and purposes, she was sacked. And yeah, obviously we'll get to it. She is missed here, and so is Ortega.
The funny thing is, before we saw this film, and you and I had this conversation, I didn't think she'd be missed because they told her story. She came to terms with who her father was. She threw away the mask at the end of the 6, no longer having those conversations with her dead father in her head anymore. That beast was released at the end of 6. So technically, she's right. The story, her arc was told. So
yeah,
and I even told you even said it, that they're done. Bring back the old crew. We're fine with that. We were wrong.
Well, it's so weird because, I mean, I remember we did the Scream 6 podcast and I made a comment, something along the lines of, yeah, basically this new Core 4, as their gang was known, wouldn't hold a candle to the original, cast. But yet, after seeing these new bunch of teens, these new clowns, I was longing for Melissa and Ortega. Now we do get, Randy's niece and nephew, but they're more sort of shoehorned in. But yeah, we'll get to it for sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about the cast here in a moment here. Another thing, this film was supposed to be directed by Radio Silence team, who gave us the last 2, but they left after, because they're loyal to Melissa Barrera, and they left and went on to do Abigail with her. And now they're doing Ready or Not 2. I love that team. I love those guys. But the core writers still stuck with the script. Now, this is what's happened. And now, again, this is in fact, but it's clearly what happened. The original screenwriters who worked with Radio Silence in the last 2 wrote the script. Then Christopher Landon took over to direct. Fucking great choice. I love him as a director. Horror comedy god. He did Happy Death Day, and he did Freaky, 2 wonderful films, and he wrote and produced Hard Eyes. So
Yes.
he knows this kind of genre, self-aware genre, very, very well. And he left, and this is the rumor, guys, in reading it, because, and this is where I'm bringing up this whole conversation here, he left not because of issues with the script or anything. He left because he was getting death threats from these fucking assholes who are picketing this film because they fired Melissa Barrera. So he left.
It was down to death threats, essentially.
And then as this movie's coming out, these assholes, these people who have no lives whatsoever, are picketing, all 3 of them, are picketing the premiere of this film. It's a fucking movie, people. She's an actress making millions. She's going to be okay. Okay?
And saying that, I think the media are blowing these protests out of proportion because there are literally like a handful of them at it.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that because I'm going to compare this to what happened to Silent Night, Deadly Night. That was a different reason they were boycotting it was because of the violence, and it took place in Christmas and Santa. But what these idiots who are picketing, whether it's back in the 80s or now, all you're doing is fueling the fire because this bad boy's broken records. So thank you. There's no such thing as bad press.
Yes.
When it comes to marketing a film here. So it's not really working for you, is it? So go get a job. Okay, let's do that first. Go get a job, get out of your mom's basement, and then, see where you go with that. And maybe you can write and produce a multi-million-dollar franchise like this is. Okay? There you go.
Well, any sort of controversy, be it from the left or the right, like you say, it just increases sales. That is what happens. That is just the way it is. Yeah.
All right. Here we are. We're going to jump into Scream now. We said we're not going to bring up the Melissa Barrera thing anymore. We talked about the dumbass picketers. We're now going to focus on what we end up getting. First of all, we have a big shout out to the Scream franchise. It has joined the Horror Billionaires Club. Scream 7 is in its few days has made over 100 million worldwide, propelling it to the $1 billion mark at the worldwide box office. This is 30 years of Scream. This is wonderful. I'm sure Wes Craven is God love him. God rest his soul wherever he is. He's having a great time celebrating that. He joins these other films. I thought Halloween or Friday 13th would have been up there, but they're not. Probably because they're older and well, I thought Halloween might have been because the new Halloween.
Halloween, you would think. Yeah.
But this one's a cheat. The Conjuring universe. Now, I thought the Conjuring films, but they're also including Annabelle and all those other ones. That's kind of a cheat. But the Conjuring universe has done it. The Alien franchise has done it. I forgot about this one. The Resident Evil franchise has done it.
Right? Yeah.
This one has done it with only 2 films. Congratulations. And that is the movie series It. And do you know what the last franchise is?
Is it Freddy Krueger?
No. It is Saw.
So, all right.
So it helps.
I wouldn't have said that.
If
Yeah.
you put out 11 of them, that helps.
This is whereabouts are the Children of the Corn films?
Yeah. What do you mean Fields of Terror didn't make $1 billion?
They've made about $5.
Yeah. And then the fucker came out.
That was paid by us.
and then the fucker came out and wanted his money back. So they owed money.
Yeah.
All right. Scream is written and directed by longtime contributor Kevin Williamson. I'm a big fan of Kevin Williamson's work. He is famous for writing Scream 1, 2, and 4. He wrote The Faculty. He wrote Cursed. And just recently, he wrote a film that's wonderful. You guys have got to check it. It's called Sick. Really good film. You guys should check it out.
I know what he did last summer as well.
Yeah. So he's been around, and he directed a couple things. He's directed Teaching Mrs. Tingle. I was all right.
Dawson's Creek, I believe he created too.
Yeah, Dawson's Creek. But I only put the good ones on his set.
Yeah, I think certainly back in the 90s, he was the go-to guy for teen-type dramas and sort of slashers and, the whole meta sort of self-aware teen dialogue.
Yeah, and then the original script was co-written by the same guys, like I mentioned, who did 5 and 6. That's Guy Busick. He's famous for doing Radio Not films, Final Destination and Bloodlines, and obviously the last 2 Screams. Then you have Gary Vanderbilt. He also co-wrote this. He did Scream 5 and 6. His best work is by far the next movie he did, which is Zodiac. He did the Amazing Spider-Man series. He did Darkness Falls. And he just recently directed the big actor. I mean, every actor in Hollywood's in it. It's called Nuremberg with Russell Crowe. So this was a $45 million budget. So that's made.
Well, yeah. I mean, Scream are all, there's obviously going to be a Scream 8, it's always had strong legs, the entire Scream series. I mean, obviously people prefer certain entries over others. That's just the way these things go. But overall, Scream has always been very strong. And I would argue that is down to generally quality writing, but also I have to say the characters. Very sort of jump off the page characters. However, we'll get to this one.
All right. We'll jump into that comment. We'll add to that comment with the cast. We got Sidney's back by Neve Campbell, Gale, Courtney Cox. We've got Isabel Tatum, I think her name is.
Oh, she's playing Tatum?
No, Isabel.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Isabel something. I don't give a fuck. But her name's Isabel. She looks like Jennifer Lawrence. A fucking amazing lookalike.
She does.
She's not bad. She plays Tatum. You've got the return fan faves from the last 2. They're the data dump people. Maisha Golding and Jasmine Savvy Brown play Mindy Martin and Chad Martin. They're the brother and sister team who survived. That was our one complaint from the last movie. Was where, how the fuck did he survive that many stabbings? That bothered me. They're trying to do a new Dewey with these 2, Yeah,
I was just thinking that.
And I just think it's getting stupid now. And we'll definitely talk about Mark on how many fucking stab wounds he gets, and he just walks away. We got our boy Roger Jackson back, who's the voice. Always the best character. We got newcomers. Anna Campbell plays Jessica Bowden. Joe McHale plays the husband, Mark. there's something went wrong here. Patrick Dempsey, they mentioned the name Mark back in Scream 5. But you never met him. Mark Kincaid was the cop, played by Patrick Dempsey in the third one. The rumor is he was supposed to come back, which would make this film a lot tighter if he did. But Dempsey says he was never reapproached for it, and it went to Joel McHale. It's not the same character, but I was hoping to see Patrick Dempsey back.
So was I, but I read that Dempsey himself said that he was up for it, and he had been in discussions for it, and he was just waiting on the script but to be sent to him, but he never received it, like, ever. And I've also read separately or heard somewhere that it may have been over the amount of money he was asking for. I don't know. But basically, sticking to the facts, he's not in this one, and we've got a different Mark played by McHale.
Yeah, not happy with that one.
It would have been nice to tie it in with Scream 3.
We needed that character to come back, not the ones we talked about, because they're just shoehorned in, and we'll certainly dive a little deeper. Celeste O'Connor plays Chloe. Sam Recker is Ben. Maza Jerman, who is Lucas Bowden, he's the red herring. And a cameo by McKenna Grace. She's the big up-and-coming actress, plays Hannah. And then we got our boys, Matthew Lillard, Stu, David Arquette as Dewey, Scott Foley as Roman, and Laura Metcalf as Debbie. That's pretty much our core. And what they did here, in the beginning, most of the Screams, as you know, the bigger name gets killed off in the beginning. But in this, they put Hannah Grace in the middle. She gets a pretty good death, actually. But they changed that up a little bit. But let's dive into our opening sequence. I love my opening sequence of Screams. You know you're getting a Scream movie when the credits start rolling and you hear the phone ring. It's usually how it goes. This is slightly different, but we're introduced to, is it Madison and, Scott and Madison, right? Yes.
Yeah, they're basically murder tourists who go to the Stu Macker house in Woodsboro to stay. It's basically an Airbnb now. It's like a horror museum.
Yeah, well, so they rent it out for an Airbnb, and the whole thing, it's just a nice setup, I have to say, because the film itself is an homage to 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now if you guys haven't seen this film, we're going to spoil the shit out of it, so this goes without saying. But this house is, you got stab posters everywhere. You got the chalk outlines, the tape outlines of the bodies where everyone was killed from all the way up to 5. You have this really cool robot that moves and talks to you. It's obviously dressed up in the Scream code Ghostface outfit. It's like an AI robot. It's pretty neat. You've got, not AI, it's just a robot, I guess you could say. And it's complete setup, and it takes place in Stu Macher's old house, the house that we famously know. Now you meet these two characters, and they're very good. Actually, I thought they'd be annoying. They're actually quite likable, and there's a lot of nice little misdirects in this. There's a lot of what you see in the shadows. Is that the Ghostface? Is that robot still a robot?
Ghostface, yeah.
Yeah, you just don't know when the Ghostface will appear. And what I liked about the scene, it's fucking brutal, and it's against the woman. So when I didn't mean it that way. What I mean is, not because it's a woman. Yeah, why you gotta make me sound bad?
You're doing a really good job yourself. Don't worry about it.
I didn't mean that. I meant because they're ballsy by doing this. Usually the guy gets fucking ripped to shreds.
Well, to be fair, they both do.
They both do. But yeah, there's really nice mystery. We talk about the jump scares and how they're cheats, right? These aren't cheats, these jump scares. These are really fun. And you're in this house with them. It's almost like you're touring with like a POV, all right? And especially how they play with the robot. And what the boyfriend sees is that robot's moving differently now. And it turns out it's our boy. And this whole killing sequence is wonderful. And the big cheese sequence when he takes down the girl is so brutal. When she's hanging off the second floor, she ends up kicking his ass. Ghostface falls off the balcony. He's on the ground, stomach down, and she's hanging off the balcony. But then she loses her balance and falls down, and then he turns around with the knife in the air, and she falls fucking hard right on that knife on top of him.
It's a very strong opening.
Yeah, and then
Ghost, yeah.
sets her on fire.
Yeah, because that actually, there's a line earlier on by her where she is talking about, what do you call the character? Is it Madison, who in 5, who's one of the killers and gets set on fire? She says, "Oh, that would be a horrible way to go." So that's the way she goes, basically. And whenever Ghostface basically torches the Stumacher house and leaves the house, there's a great line, and where Ghostface says, "I'm gonna burn it all to the fucking ground." And it's just really well delivered.
Yeah, we talk about direction, and this film is very well directed. I'm going to tell you right now, it's very well directed. The only flaws I have with the film is the writing and some of the casting. That's really the only flaws in this film, because when he sets her on fire, and she's still alive, by the way, and you hear her screaming, and you see it. They don't pull back. He walks out of the house, and he's got the blade, and you see it, and the house is just beautifully as it's burned up, and it's a nice way to say goodbye to our hometown, to Woodsboro, and then we jump into, I believe it's Pines Grove.
Yeah, the new place, the
new
town
place
where Sidney is living.
You have me. It's a perfect setup for the new team that we're about to get. You know,
it's a very strong opening and one of the best actually in the series.
I completely agree, 100%. And so we got our first call. When Sidney gets the first call, this is fun. Now, each film has always done a nice job with adapting to technology, and this one is the deepfake technology. It's a little out of hand at the end, but I do like that deepfake technology is used for the first call, and he's like, "Hello, Sidney," and Stumacher is on the other line.
Yeah,
it's nice. It is nice, and I do like the makeup and how his face is completely fucking scarred and just kind of fucked up from what would have happened at the TV if he did survive the TV.
Yeah,
but he wouldn't have survived that. That would have been stupid.
Well, but yet I was hoping, there was a part of me, I know it would have been ridiculous and preposterous, but there was a part of me that was hoping it actually was Stu in some completely ridiculous way. I know the play with that, when they say, yeah, his body was never found and all the Sierra's body went missing or something along those lines. But yeah, and I have to say, it's good to see Matthew Lillard back, and he does play the character, as he was back 30 years ago.
He did film the ending where Stu survived.
Right. Okay.
The original ending, he survived.
That would have been a lot better.
No,
than
they actually test screened it, and everyone involved and everyone who saw it says it's terrible. You can't have this. It's laughable.
Too ridiculous.
It's too stupid. So that's why they changed it. I wanted that way. I'd like to see the deepfakes. Oh, it's just Stu being deepfake, but at the end, it actually is. That would have been a nice misdirect. They tried that and it just didn't work.
I would have liked it to have been grounded in more reality. And I know we're talking about Scream, which is a bit of a soap opera anyway. But every previous Scream film, the killer has always had a direct connection to Sidney or, Tara or whatever, or Sam. But anyway, we'll get to the killers in this one later on. But basically, yeah, I would have liked it to have been maybe Stu's dad or something like that. Something connecting to Stu, but we'll get there.
So yeah, we'll talk about the family dynamic here. So you've got Sidney, who's very controlling of Tatum, and rightfully so. She's got that mindset, and she's obviously named after Tatum, her best friend, played by, what was her name? Rose McGowan from the first one. And then you've got the father, Mark. I just felt, I do, this is nothing against Joe McHale. He just didn't belong here.
I mean, the character is, well, there's a few weak characters here, but he is definitely, what is the point in him being here, type thing. I think it would have actually set it up better and actually been more believable if actually Sidney was a single mother, because then she would have more reason to be more defensive of her daughter and stuff. I know she already does anyway, because obviously she's trying to protect her from inevitably Ghostface coming back. But I think if she had been like a sort of struggling single mother, that would have lended more weight to it, and why she's more protective over her.
And you would have
But
gave us at least another suspect. Would have been the ex-husband.
exactly, yeah, that would have played well, because even though he is in this, you never really buy that he might be the killer. They sort of play with it and sort of suggest it, but
No,
it's never really explored.
never thought about it. Never even thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
The theater attack's really good when we lose Hannah. Hannah.
Yes.
When we lose Hannah. Now, it's quite brutal. It's slow, and it almost has an Argento feel to it.
Yeah. With the theater and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it had almost like a Giallo vibe to it.
Yes. And one of the other dipshit teenagers gets it as well, who's in like the projector room or something.
Yeah, he's the one who's controlling. She's doing that flying Peter Pan shit, whatever she's doing.
Yeah.
And he's controlling the wires, and she gets stuck up there because he gets his throat cut.
Yes.
But this is the killing that starts the chaos, and the town obviously goes batshit. We find out. Oh, we'll talk about who the killers is in a minute here. Then we got the Sidney house attack, which I thought was okay. I thought was kind of fun. They have this panic room. I like the panic room. I do like that that came into play just out of the blue, but it makes sense for Sidney to have something hidden like a panic room.
Yeah.
And I do like that there's an exit, and it's through the walls, and how Ghostface he hears somebody in the walls, and that whole sequence of stabbing through the walls I thought was really fun. It's been done to death before. We've all seen this before, but this is what I'm saying, where the direction is competent. Again, it's well-directed film. It's just the script that is flawed in this film. But the whole execution in Sidney's house, I do like the fact Mark puts up a fight, but the killer here wins at the end of wins. Well, technically, until he gets out of the house, and then he gets hit by a van, and that van is driven by Gale Weathers.
It's actually a very good introduction to her and Chad and Mindy, actually, where they basically knock down and kill Ghostface. But if I had to pinpoint the moment where this film goes wrong, basically, it's after this. It's just after this. But it's actually a very strong sort of introduction to them in the film, where eventually there's this whole sort of chase sequence, and Ghostface runs out into the street, and sort of there's all panic and stuff, and next minute, bang, this car knocks down and kills Ghostface, and it's actually Gale Weathers and the nephew and niece of Randy.
Yeah, so this is how we were reintroduced to the team from the originals. And so Mindy, Chad, and the brother and sister, and of course, Gale, they should not have been in this film at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing against any of them at all. Gale Weathers is in it for 20 minutes. Why? I mean, come on. You could have had her maybe a cameo and a phone call. Fucking kill her off. Really throw people off. Do something.
She needs to be killed off in the next film's opening sequence. The problem with the Gale character is there's nowhere else to go with her. She's actually Courtney Cox in the character. I think their best moment overall is actually in Scream 5, when she's dealing with the breakup with Dewey, and then whenever he gets killed, she's then dealing with his death. And Courtney Cox is really good in 5, and it's one of the strongest aspects of it. But there's nowhere else to go with the character.
Well, here's the problem, though. You said this before. She's inconsistent. First, she's okay, you just said about it. Her best performance, her best arc is in 5, with the death of Dewey and the breakup and all for. Then the next one, she's in New York, dating some hot guy, condo. She never learned anything from the last one. And we get the same thing here. You think that we're going to learn something from her in this one, but no, she kind of screws Sidney again during an interview. It's like, where are we going here?
It's played out the whole Gale is a bitch, but then she mellows by the end, and her and Sidney become friends again. They've basically done it so many times, it's just become so exhausting now. Yeah, they need to bump her off at the beginning of the next film or something. The character is just there for fan service, basically. I like Courtney Cox. I've certainly nothing against her and stuff, but I'm talking about the character here of Gale. What is the point?
You have this horrible misdirect with Lucas, the neighbor, and the neighbor
Yes.
kid, and he's a nerd and he likes podcasts, true crimes and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then you got Ben, who's the boyfriend. Just terrible misdirects where it's not going to be them. I mean, you know how the Screams, like they say in the original, everyone's a suspect. No, not in this one.
These
no,
clowns weren't.
no. I know these two assholes couldn't do it. There's even a
they could probably tie their laces. Never mind plan a killing.
There's a fucking scene where Tatum is running away from him because she's pouting. She's so annoying, to be honest with you. She got annoying after a while. I could understand the daughter, mother-daughter dynamic, and she's being too controlling, but it wears thin really fast. And she just becomes kind of a brat. Even when her best friend just got slaughtered, she's still defying Sidney, who's been through this. It's just, come on, this is getting stupid. And Mark, who's a useless stump, who's a fucking cop. I guess he's the only cop in this entire town. Is
the only one that shows up anyway.
Yeah. And then she runs out of the house, going, Mary, Mom. And then she goes to Ben's car, and there's Ben, his laptop's wide open, and it's all these deep fake images of Stu and a picture of him pretending to be Stu. And she goes, why do you have this? Are you the killer? And he's like, no, I just want to see if it could work. And so she knocks him out thinking he's the killer. It was so, and here's why it doesn't work. Yes. The one thing Stream is you roll your eyes with it, not at it. There's a difference. And this one, you're rolling your eyes at it like, oh, come on. That's the difference between the Screams and this one.
And also, I would say that despite, with the Screams, yes, we're playing along. We know the rules, as Randy would say, but at the same time, they still surprise you in various ways. But here, you're not really getting that. And a big issue with this film, aside, I think you were saying there that sometimes these, scenes go on too long, or all of this sort of character dynamics go on too long. Yes, this film's too long. This should have been trimmed down by at least 20 minutes. But I would say that probably my biggest issue overall is the new teens who have the personalities of an empty tin of beer. They are useless, whereas and they made me want Melissa and Ortega back. So they did, who I criticised in the last one. It's just they are so bland, and it's just whenever stuff happens to them, you do not give a shit. You're not happy. You're not. You can't even hate them enough because they're so bland. It's whenever they do get bumped off, inevitably, you just don't care, and that has never been the case before with Scream.
Yeah, again, I don't know the actors that well who play these characters, but even when Tatum confronts Ben with the laptop, I didn't care. It was I was laughing. It's stupid, and that goes to the writing and to the execution.
I think out of them all, the best one is the McKenna Grace character, but she's briefly in it and she gets bumped off pretty quick.
Well, she's the experienced young one. That's why, and that's but it's too bad they couldn't keep her in. I know what they're trying to do. A famous, an upcoming actress always gets killed in the Screams. That's fine, but
yes,
when you see the final act, I almost think she should have played the daughter.
Oh, totally. The daughter here, I'm sorry to say, is just bland, and she certainly knows Sidney, like her mother. It's just, with all of the previous Screams, especially the originals, the teen characters, they leapt off the screen, the quirky dialogue. Some of them were dicks, some of them were more likable, but they were unforgettable, and we're still talking about them to this day. I forgot about these dipshits. I can barely even remember their names, 5 minutes after it left the cinema. Not good Scream.
It's got good memorable kills, and that got a lot. That has a lot going for it. What it doesn't have going for it is the cool one-liners that we all,
Yes,
every Scream
exactly.
movie, there's always a line you take from it. I can't remember anything that I took from this one with the lines. And again, that boils down to the writing. And I'm shocked.
And again,
This is
yeah,
coming from Kevin Williamson. And it could be, and I hate saying this because I do like him. I do like his last film, Sick, that he wrote a couple years ago. But he hasn't written much since. He's kind of done some self-producing and stuff, and he's always worked. And again, I'm nothing against the man, but I think he's peaked with the Dawson's Creek era, the late '90s. His late '90s or mid '90s, late '90s vibe is not mixing well with this new generation, and that's what we're having a problem with.
100%.
He needed Vanderbilt and Busick to come back and let them finish the writing, and he can finish. He can direct because he's doing fine directing. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the direction here. It's all about the writing and, of course, some of the casting.
Yeah, and I would add to that it is obvious here as well that multiple rewrites have happened due to the whole controversy with Melissa Ferreira and stuff. It's plain to see there have been rewrites here, so it does feel patchy. But regarding, I don't know if Kevin Williamson wrote these characters or whatever, but it appears that, yeah, like you said, writing teenagers in the 90s, whenever you were younger yourself, is a very different ball game, I would imagine, to writing teen characters in 2026. Very different generation, and he's a lot older now as well. He must be around 60 now. So, yeah, I mean, regarding the direction, I think it's certainly competent for most of it, but it needed to be trimmed down. And I think another point here where it just started to grate on me was the interview that Gale does with Sidney, which is preposterous. I don't even know why they're doing this, for the local town TV channel. And it's just, oh, here we go again with the whole thing that's been played out so many times before with Gale being a bitch,
They did that because they wanted to try to bring out the killer. So they go live on TV to do this interview. And then Sidney goes, "Don't you call me out. I don't want to talk about this and this and this." And Gale goes, "Oh, no, I would never do that. You're my bestie." Well, the bitch does it. And and so Sidney leaves. And it sucks because that whole sequence was terrible. They didn't need it. We talk about trim down, fine, get rid of that whole scene. What doesn't make sense to me, and you got these two great scenes. How the film works is you have Gale and Sidney at the TV station. You've got Tatum at the latte shop because she owns a latte shop, Sidney, and then you've got the one of the best sequences, the bar kill. And so you've got all these different characters and it's cutting back and forth. And as the bar kill is happening and Tatum's being hunted, they're being in it, she's doing the interview. So you kind of got that, you're supposed to have that tension where Gale is interviewing Sidney at the same time her daughter's trapped at the latte shop and the other kids are being killed at the bar. So you're supposed to have these tension. A lot of filmmakers try to do that. They'll have three stories going on at once.
Yes.
But this is where direction could be an issue, where it's not really crafted as well as we would get from like Zach Cregger who did Weapons. He could pull this off. Or Ryan Coogler, who did Sinners. He's done that in Sinners, so he could pull this off. Nothing against Kevin Williamson, but there's something not right here. And I think what happens with these productions is once they had all that trouble at the beginning, I think they knew they had trouble with this film, but they didn't want to go back and do reshoots because if you scream reshoots on a film after all it's already been cursed with the first time when it first started coming of age, then you're fucked because now everyone says this is going to be a disaster. So they haven't fixed these changes, and that's what happened.
It is an issue as well. Strangely, the lighting. There's a weird sort of lighting sort of vibe going on.
I like it.
Just
he uses. I like it. No, I love the DP work on this film, from the burning of the house to.
Well, that's great.
To her running down the street and it's dark and there's very dimly lit. There's a slight fog. It had a Halloween vibe to it. And then you've got the bar scene, which is I think. And then he uses screen flare. I like the fact directors use screen flare. Everyone hates it. J.J. Abrams is famous for using it for the Star
Yes.
Treks and the last couple Star Wars. But I love it because it just brings you kind of in. A lot of people don't like that glare, but I love it. And you get a lot of it here. But I do like the bar scene, and I do like the latte shop scene. They should have kept those separate from this horrible interview because it takes you out of it. So then you got fucking Sidney, who's leaving the TV station because she's mad. She doesn't have a car or can't call a cab. Yeah, by the way, the town's under curfew. And so that means everybody's gone, including the police. So she decides she's going to run to help her daughter, and she's on the phone with her daughter on the webcam in the office of the latte shop, and she's trying to give her daughter's instructions on how to get the safe, the gun from the safe as the killer's outside the office door, and she's running to you couldn't drive or run back to the TV station and go, hey, let's get our asses out here. We got to call the police and let's go get my daughter. No, I'm going to run. That was so stupid.
I know. And here's another thing. If you were obviously in danger from a crazed killer, there's a lot of convoluted stuff about, the guns and stuff. The daughter should have been trained up to fire a gun, and also they should have been carrying, like the fucking Wild West, they should have been carrying fucking guns on them permanently to protect themselves if you have a killer coming after you. But there's a lot of convoluted stuff to try and increase tension.
Well, they could have.
Where they're trying to get the gun and stuff,
What they could have done is Scream is famous for taking from other horror films. That's his whole thing, right? They really could have played on the Laurie Strode moment here, where you got Tatum, who's kind of a whiny little brat. Okay, shut up. Just like the daughter was. Whoop, dropped my mic. Just like the daughter was in Halloween, the reboot. But at the end, when she turns, she knows how to fire a gun. She's not the helpless daughter of Laurie Strode. That we thought she was through the whole film. She actually knows how to fire a gun.
Yeah, I would like to just to go back slightly. I would like to just confirm as well, for the sake of listeners. Yeah, I mean, obviously we talked about Ghostface being run down and killed by Courtney Cox and Chad and Mindy. Well, it turns out that actually there are other Ghostface. I think they could have played on that more.
Yeah, we're not there. We're going to talk about the unveiling here in a second, and then that's why I didn't mention them in the van, because the reveals are terrible. So I just want to do them one by one.
Yes.
Let's talk about the bar real quick, though, because this is pretty much coming up for now.
To be fair,
the bar scene was awesome. I really like Chloe's death. I believe it's Chloe. She gets, let me see, is it Chloe? I want to make sure I get these names right. Yeah, it's Chloe. This is where Chloe and Lucas both get it. Lucas is the red herring, but they're really good deaths. And I do like the fact that they put up a fight, and you've got Lucas who's going to try to save Chloe, and Chloe is putting up a fight, and all this glass is getting shattered. She falls on the glass and cuts herself, and then gets her throat cut on the glass. It's quite brutal. And then Lucas, the best death in the film, gets his face knifed.
His head impaled on
his head is on the beer tap, and all the beer is coming out of his mouth with the blood. A lot of people say it was too much for a Scream film. I'm like, fuck that. Bullshit.
You watch a horror, you watch a slasher. That's what you watch it for. We're not watching Dawson's Creek here. You know what I mean? We want to have creative killings. That is sort of the point in a slasher. So that's nonsense.
This big confrontation at the end, where, oh, by the way, Mark, the great cop, got stabbed like multiple times in the chest, and it's brutal. You see him just ramming on. You know how vicious the killer is, right?
I thought he was dead.
Yeah,
he should be.
Well, he should be. This is where I'm saying this is getting stupid. I mean, and then you've got
Mindy and Chad get stabbed as well.
Yeah, you got Mindy and Chad who get stabbed again, but they're okay.
Yeah. See, also, I would say about Mindy and Chad, I wanted more quirky, sort of meta film type dialogue from them. You get hardly any of it here, and the Scream films are known for.
You have that one scene
about films. Yeah, one scene. That's it.
Yeah, when they're in the bar, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that scene would even work on this new team. This new team's kind of boring.
No, they're assholes. I mean, what you wanted from the new team is for them is to talk about how this is, commentary on, the current media world and films and all that. They make no comment. It's actually whenever Chad and Mindy arrived, we get the meta commentary on, the current state of the film business and stuff, all this sort of thing. These assholes, these young assholes are so bland. I doubt they even watch films, which goes against the Scream rules.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, the transition phase for Kevin Williamson.
Yes.
He's not transitioning what we got from the 90s team to this new team. He doesn't know how to merge them. That's the problem. He's stuck in an era. He's stuck in an era, is what he is.
It would be like it's a generational thing now, Yeah.
All right, so this ending. Here we go, guys. If you haven't heard what we're about to say, actually, there's really no twist, so don't worry about it. So when she goes to the house, and Tatum's been kidnapped from the latte shop, and now we go all the way back to the beginning of the boyfriend of Drew Barrymore in the first one. She's tied up in the back, and like in the back where the pool is and all that crap. Mark is lying on the ground, stabbed 3,000 times, but he's okay. Don't worry about it.
No big deal.
He's tied up, but he's able to get the knife to cut the rope. It's so stupid. It makes no sense. And the funny thing is, in the other Screams, it could be stupid, but you go with it because you liked everybody, and you kind of like, like I said, you roll your eyes with it, not at it. There's a massive fucking difference, and
a world of difference.
And even I do like where Sidney keeps telling Tatum, always shoot him in the head, always shoot him in the head. And when she kills the final third one of the three killers, and they shoot her in the face like 12 times. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and her face like literally just gets ripped to shreds.
So I was hoping for something. When the reveal, that's something they planted a little Easter egg that we never caught, say. And what really would have been a great fucking Easter egg or little planting of the seed, Mark Kincaid comes back and he's the killer.
Yeah. Or Stu's dad.
Stu's dad. Or even Sidney's dad.
Yeah.
Or some puppet master. You can have free killers, I don't care. But give us a puppet master. You kind of did that with the last one. With the family.
You know what would have been? I mean, it would have been completely ridiculous and pure fan service, but it would have been a proper rug pull. Randy, bring back Randy as a killer, But
no, that would have been silly. But actually, it probably wouldn't have been than what we got. But here we go. There's our killers. They're all unmasked. The first one was Carl. Was it Carl? Yeah.
He's a mental patient, basically.
Yeah, Carl was the one who got hit by the van by Gale Weathers. He was the muscle. He was the one who was doing most of the terrorizing. He got hit by the van and killed. His name was Carl. He was a mental patient at the local new loony bin.
Yeah.
The other killer is Marco Davis. He is a hospital orderly that he befriended this lunatic. Marco Davis is played by Ethan Embry. I like him. He's a child actor who's gone on to do well for himself. And Jessica Bowden. That's right. She's the puppet master of it. Jessica Bowden is played by Anna Camp. Again, like to see her. She is the nosy neighbor who is the mother of Lucas. All right. Now, the reason this is all happening is because she is what they call a Sidney superfan. She's obsessed after reading Sidney's book Out of Darkness, and her motive was to force you back into the final girl role and to traumatize Sidney's daughter and to turn her into the next generation final girl. This is terrible. And and Marco, an orderly at Fallbrook, and she's a psychiatric. She works at the psychiatric hospital, Jessica. But she was previously a patient at that hospital.
That's right. Yes, she was previously a patient. Yes,
and
she's had problems. Yes,
Yeah, and that's kind of where they met. And Marco, this is the best line. They have this huge thing at the end with all this deep fake. I can see on the phone you have one deep fake of Stu, right? But she walks into her house, Cindy's house, and all these fucking TVs are lit up. And it's now you've got Roman, and from the third one, you've got Stu, you've got what's her name from the second
Billy
one,
Loomis's mother.
yeah, and they're all playing, deep faking it. And there's a line like, how the fuck did an orderly or all do this? And he's like, oh, I know him. He took some courses of AI. He's an A. I'm like, what? That is, I mean,
he went to Belfast Metropolitan College for a week, and now he's Bill Gates, basically.
Jesus. So it's like, one-line fixes are okay, but it doesn't work in a Scream film.
Here's the thing: whenever the Scream films in the past, I've got a bit preposterous. It's always a bit of a nudge and a wink to the audience. But here, it's like you're treating us as if we're stupid here now. You're actually insulting us now.
Yeah, there's nothing to go with
ridiculous.
This. What they've done, and here's the problem: you've cut the head off the snake. So, because every Scream film, there's a character who's involved in the puppet mastering of the last one, and then the last one, and it snowballs. It carries over. But now you've cut the head off.
Yeah,
where are you going to go now?
And
who's the killer now? What is it going to be? Marco Davis's mother?
Yeah,
who is he going to? Is he going to be the killer now? Who we don't give a shit about?
Exactly.
And we never met Carl, the guy who was hit by the van, once. We met Marco Davis once in like a 30-second scene when they interviewed him to find out, who was Carl, because they find out Carl. So they go to Carl, was in the psychiatric ward. They go there, they meet Marco, and Marco goes, oh, hey, yeah, I knew him. He wasn't a bad guy. There's his whole scene. And you had Anna Camp, who's in it for a minute or two as the neighbor. You never got to know any of these characters. So it's also, what pisses me off even more. Here's another thing. What really pisses me off? It's a cheat.
I know.
We talked about this. Hold on a second. We talked about this for Friday 13th. Now, we all like the fact it's Pamela Voorhees. It's the mom, right? We're cool with that. We get it. But it's a cheat. Because the great thing about Friday 13th, it's 12, what is it, 9 Little Indians? 10 Little Indians. It's 10 Little Indians. It's an Agatha Christie novel. It's a whodunit. Who's killing who? But the one thing Friday 13th did not do right was introduce us to Pamela Voorhees, because you need to meet and have a good guess of who the killer is. So Pamela should have been introduced somehow into Friday 13th. All the Screams let you do that. And it's not just for like a half-second scene. It's literally you marinate in the characters and the conversations they're having, and you're kind of looking who could it be and yada, 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 Mr. X. This one, you never got that chance because we never really met Carl. We met Marco for half a second, and Anna, who gives a shit?
And Scream 2, Billy Loomis's mother, before it's revealed, she's revealed as one of the killers. We only meet her briefly, but the reason it works is, in that case, is because she has a direct connection to the main killer from the first one.
No. I'm going to cut you off there. You're wrong. She's in pretty much the whole film. She's in it quite a bit. Yes, she is. She's in every scene with Gale Weathers and that. She's always trying to get the interviews going.
She's a reporter,
Yeah.
Or
The mother is.
Reporter.
Yeah. She's in it quite a bit. That's my point. You got to give us something to hang on to so we can put them on the list.
This was pointless here, and it was just by the end of it, I just found it, the film, again, as I was saying, the first half was strong. I was on board, especially with the opening and stuff. I was on board, but by the second half and by the end, I was just exhausted, and I was just like, what I was thinking is, obviously they're going to make a Scream 8, and what I was thinking is, for Scream 8, they really need to go outside the box and do something completely different, because it's become, I really wanted to like this film. Obviously, I'm a Scream fan, always have been since the originals come out, but I think for the Scream franchise, if it is to continue and to stay fresh, they really need to go outside the box with the next one. And definitely retire Gale Weathers.
As a slasher film, this film is wonderfully shot. Great gore. You go with it. As a slasher film, it's a great film. It's an A grade, solid film. Period. You're not going to beat it. As a Scream film, it's got problems. And it boils down to the misuse or overuse of Minnie Chad and Gale. They should not have been in this film. You have save them for the next film. Let them, what happened to them? We'll save them, or maybe have a post-credit scene, not the stupid one we get in this film. Have a post-credit scene of them being introduced, maybe for the next one. Do something like that. We don't need them in this film. You should have casted better on the younger teams. Ben was terrible. Ben was terrible. Ben was terrible. Tatum was all right, and Lucas was moronic, and the killers were terrible. There's no the twist, the reveal. Even when you got to the bar scene, and the bar scene's very fun. The killing scenes are very fun. The latte store scene's very fun. But again, you're taken out with that terrible interview with the whole Gale showdown with Sidney, and it takes you out of it. And then by the time you get to the reveal of the killers, you're like, okay, I was a little lull there, but I'm okay now. I'm ready to see the killers. You're like, huh? Who are these fucking assholes?
Yeah.
And
I also would say that it was pretty obvious it was them too. Just the way their characters play out in the brief scenes that they're in. It's you're sort of thinking to yourself, yeah, they're probably the killers. Yeah.
See, I thought the complete opposite because they're not in it. So it's like, oh no, they're just one-offs. If these guys are the killers, fuck me. One of the killers has to be embedded in the group. At least one of them, like embedded. So you almost needed like
one of the things.
I'll tell you what.
One of the things.
There's actually a ballsy moment here that people might have missed. Oh, she does when the killer, the mother, the neighbor, she's the one who killed her own son.
Yeah,
she killed Lucas at the bar. She's the one who killed him. That great death by impaling his head on the tap. She did that to him. And then Sidney even says, something about how could you do that to your son? Oh, he was a lunatic anyway. I was like, what? That could have been dark.
I know it doesn't carry any weight because we don't give a shit about these mother and son characters.
Yeah. So there's your problem. Now, I enjoyed it. It's getting a pass. It's competent, 100% competent. Great DP work, great violence. That opening sequence alone gives it a pass, period. But as a Scream film, it's the worst of the group.
Yeah, it is.
Now, some people say it's not as bad. It's not shit. I'm never will say that. Scream films always get a pass because they're fun and they're blah, blah. But it took me out of this one, guys. You need to bring back Radio Silence to direct the new one. Give us back Melissa Barrera. Bring us back Jenny Ortega. And you know what's funny? You had Chad and Mitty in this one. You brought them back, and that was cool. Maybe on paper it looked good. But you know what it was missing? That rat-tat that those two had with Jenny Ortega and Melissa.
Yeah. And also the stuff about the quirky sort of comments on films and stuff and franchises and all that there. We didn't really get any of that, essentially, apart from one scene. It just became a bit exhausting, and they were just there for fan service. That it frustrated me. But at the same time, there were Matthew Lillard back as Stu, even though it's not really Stu, it's deep fake. I enjoyed that, the opening and stuff. Yeah, but out of all the Scream films, this is the weakest so far, and it really does need to go outside the box going forward.
Yeah, so there you go. I still recommend you guys go see it. Judge it for yourself. The one thing, I'm glad it hasn't because it's made a shitload of money. I don't want people just going in with preconceptions of all that's going on.
Yeah, make your own mind up always.
Make your own mind up. Don't, I think I've been very fair with it. It's just that ending. It's laughable.
We don't want you to think like us. We want you to think for yourselves. So,
yeah you don't want to be like wise and cool and classy like me.
I know you're probably sitting there listening and saying, why the fuck would I ever want to think like you guys? But
yeah, we'll be in a fucking institution with Carl and the others. All right.
Slabbering about films. Yeah.
You know what would even been better? Now I'm thinking about the institution. This movie would have been better if they finally tracked down to where Carl was from, where he broke out of.
Yeah.
And then it ends, the showdown is in the institution itself.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense.
A lot of people consider Scream 3 the weakest in the series, but Scream 3 is better than this.
I thought 3 was very dark in the.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and her brother and all that was pretty good. All right.
Yeah, and the whole stuff with the studio and all. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. All Screams bring something. And I'll say this, and that's why this stays as a Scream film in my book, because it gave us that Scream intro, and that Scream intro is far superior than what we've been getting. I love that introduction with the phone call from our boy Ghostface, and Roger Jackson's back. That opening sequence. If you want to see the film, just see for the opening sequence. You'll be happy with that. All right. Next up, we're doing The Housemaid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this one's batshit
Not
crazy.
like a bit of trash cinema.
Yeah. Should be fun. Listen, guys, we've had a really good last couple of months in downloads. We appreciate it, especially over in the States again, from Georgia, Colorado, Utah, California, Pennsylvania, New York. All you guys, thank you so much for hitting us up. And if you want to reach out, please feel free to do on Facebook. It's Citizen Frame there. And of course, on Instagram, it's Citizen Frame _podcast on Instagram there. And give us a shout at email at citizenframe@outlook.com. We're going to wrap this one up. And next up, The Housemaid. You take care of yourselves.